Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
He's threatened to kill you both.
Yes.
Tyrannical teens.
You say you worry that he could be the next school shooter.
Is this extreme behavior?
She's smoking pot and having sex. Nicole is 15.
From a failure to parent?
She's leaving at 11:30 at night and going off in a car with someone you don't know. Seriously? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've hurt long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
5, 4.
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Go, Dr. Phil.
How you doing? Hey, guys. How are you? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, first off, I want you all to take a look at this.
Get out of my face now. Now. Stop.
Imagine living with that every single day of your life, walking on eggshells, not knowing how to defuse it, not feeling safe in your own home. Now, Lavina and her husband, Josh, know exactly what I'm talking about. They say their son is out of control, but they have no idea why. That's the young man you just saw. Here's their story.
My son Trevor, he is out of control and he desperately needs help. He gets angry and violent and tries to hurt us. Anytime he gets really angry, it always goes straight to the violence.
He yells, screams, hits. He told me that he was going to kill me.
He's been making death threats for 4 or 5 years.
Trevor has threatened Lavina a few times.
Go ahead, Trevor. I'll be sure the police get your hand off of it now. I'm having the police come.
The first time I called the police about Trevor, a girl's father said he didn't want Trevor to text his daughter anymore. And Trevor threatened to kill the girl's father and hurt us.
Now your brothers are here. Calm down. The police are coming to get you.
There was a second occasion where we called the police because we asked Trevor to brush his teeth. He decides to let me use my knee to open the door. Obviously, a lot of anger and aggression.
The third time I called the police, his paternal grandfather had taken away a little handheld device from him at my request, and he became very aggressive and violent.
The fourth time we called the police was after Trevor had asked to go to a girl's house when their parents weren't going to be home, so of course we denied it. This is where Trevor had pushed his mother into the wall and punched his door. He's kicked the door.
He is constantly talking about guns and knives, and violence is his answer to everything. If I say, oh wow, that woman just cut me off, you should shoot her. Because of his fixation on guns and knives and violence, I'm worried that someday if someone doesn't help him, he is gonna be the next Adam Lanza. The first time I took Trevor to a psychologist, he was over a year old. Even as a toddler, we had such a difficult time with him. The next time I took Trevor to a counselor, he was a little over 3.5 years old. They said that Trevor had some sort of adjustment mood disorder. They recommended putting him on some sort of psychotropic medication. When he was 3 years old, I wasn't gonna medicate him. Trevor's behaviors definitely got worse as he got older. It was no longer just tantrums anymore. It was violent. We have taken him to see around 12 psychologists, psychiatrists, alternative medicine, doctors, but nothing or nobody has been able to help him. As he got older, it was constant, frequent. Every time he got angry, he was threatening to kill someone. I think I spent a lot of years in denial.
There were times where he did play rough with the twins. I'd have fears that I would come home and find my family harmed.
I love that even with all his troubles, he's still he can be such a sweet boy. How's your snack? Trevor's always gonna be my baby. He's always gonna be my little boy. All I want is someone to help me with Trevor. Just please tell me. Tell me what we're missing and what we can do.
Okay, you recognize that Trevor is way out of control, and you actually fear for your lives?
At times, yes.
Yes, when he gets angry, he is no longer, it's like he's a completely different person.
Right.
I don't know what he's capable of when he gets angry.
Do you fear that he could kill you?
Yeah, honestly, yes. There are
And
times he gets so angry, I think he could.
You have a set of twins,
Yes.
and you fear for them.
Yes, I do.
Has he made specific threats towards killing you, towards killing the children?
He's never said anything about the boys. I know he's made threats to me. He's made threats to his mother, but never specifically.
And you're
boys.
the stepfather here.
Correct.
But he's threatened to kill you both.
Yes.
Okay. You found it hard to answer that question when I asked you that. Is that hard for a mother to say?
It's hard to say that your own child says that he wants to kill you, he wants you dead. It's not something you're proud to admit.
He's been since age 1. You took him to a psychologist, at age 3 to another therapist, and to a psychiatrist. It's just gone on and on, doctor after doctor. Yet it's gotten worse, not better.
Correct. He doesn't want to get better. He doesn't think there's anything
But out
wrong.
of all of these people, nobody has ever said anything to you that gave you clarity or a plan you could follow.
No, we always feel like almost everyone has given up. They just say he's such a complex case and we've tried everything we can think of, but then they don't say, well, let's try this or let's go somewhere else.
You say we've done everything, but the truth is you've really not done consistently and persistently one single thing that you've ever been asked to do by a therapist. Would you agree with that?
I wouldn't say that we don't consistently. I think we've
Really?
tried, but I feel
because
like we've
you,
given
in
up.
fact, you used those specific words. You said he's been on Focalin, he has been on Abilify, he's been on Lexapro, and you said that you admit you were inconsistent in using the medications and did not persist in using them across time. So that's two different things. You were inconsistent while you used them, on again, off again, and did not persist across time in using them. Take another look at the home video Lavina recorded.
Get out of my face now. He didn't touch you, so you need to stop now. No, it didn't. He didn't touch you. You need to stop. That's enough. No! I didn't do anything to you, so you have no reason to do this. Well, just that's not a reason to take it out on me. No, he didn't. Stop. Stop it now. Your brothers are here. Calm down. The police are coming to get you. You need to stop. I said stop. Stop it now. Now. Stop.
It is a complex situation. We have to take a break. Up next, can Trevor control his anger, but just simply refuses to? Or is he simply unable to contain this rage? I want to talk more about that when we come back. Plus, I want to talk to Trevor himself, and we'll do that coming up soon.
Living with Trevor is like always walking on eggshells, never knowing what to expect.
You pissed your dad.
I worry a lot that Trevor might try to buy a gun or a knife.
Tomorrow on Dr. Phil.
How long since you've seen your children?
Over 5 years.
Is this mom's behavior
She's thrown her hot tea on me. She just gets angry.
driving her entire family away?
Listen, I'm going to conduct an interview here, and I'm sorry if you don't like the questions. You don't really want to hear any of this, do you?
I think it needs to be heard with a therapist because this is delusional.
Yeah, let's get somebody out here that knows what they're doing.
That's tomorrow.
A lot goes through your mind when you physically have to restrain your child. Restraining him is emotionally draining. When he has these episodes, I have to match his aggression as far as his strength goes, otherwise he'll overpower me. I feel like I'm living with a wild animal that's just very unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen next.
Well, Lavina says Trevor's seemingly uncontrollable rages have only gotten worse over time. And now they're so bad, and he's gotten so big that they fear he might seriously hurt himself or someone else. And with that kind of rage, it can happen even by accident, right? And that's the danger here, which is, that's the issue with the restraint, correct?
Correct.
Now, Trevor's psychologist, a very fine professional, Dr. Rick McNeese, and one of his associate therapists, Kiki Hackenstead, from First Step, are joining us via Polycom today. Dr. McNeese, Kiki, thank you so much for joining us today. What can you, you've been hearing our conversation here, and you have studied this history in great detail, as have we. What can you add to the situation, and what is your best assessment of what's going on at this point?
Well, my thoughts, much like you said earlier, is this is a very complicated young man, and yet atypical. While we're seeing some very violent kind of films here, he actually has done well in other situations. Is not the typical kind of antisocial kid that loses his temper at school, around peers. Not that he hasn't had some episodes, but not so severe. So it's a very sketchy kind of out-of-control behavior, mostly in the home. But this is not something that he chooses to do, in my estimation.
Well, Josh, you say when he's with you that you don't have this problem when it's just one-on-one.
Yeah, there's been a number of occasions where he and I will go out and do things together, or even at the house. He's more compliant with me, asking him to take his medications as opposed to his mother. I've taken him out for full days to different events and things like that, and he showed no signs of that aggression or anger coming out. Again, I don't know if it's, again, being around peers, people his own age, and doesn't want to be embarrassed. But, I mean, like I said, it seems at times that there is that sort of control.
Yeah. Well, that is a hopeful sign, and as Dr. McNeese says, that doesn't mean that it's not involuntary, but it may not be triggered at certain times. But that is hopeful that he does at least have within the range of his behaviors to interact in a more appropriate way. Kiki, you've been doing some work with him. What's your takeaway from the time you're spending with him?
I just feel like he can control his behavior in certain situations. And per the video, that's his voice, that's his face. Mom is not making this stuff up. So if he can't develop empathy at this level from seeing himself on TV, then perhaps if he does go to jail because he hurts a family member, then at the very least, if he can develop, you know, or have, or selfish about the fact that he has to wear somebody else's underwear because they recycle clothing, tennis shoes, socks, all that kind of stuff there, that at least on a selfish basis, he can control his behavior because he doesn't want to go to jail, because that would be disgusting to have to wear somebody else's underwear and shoes.
Sure. You know, we have a rule here at the Dr. Phil show, I mean, and Josh, we never agree to have a guest on the show if they're currently in therapy with a professional, unless and until we have that professional's permission to book them, because we don't ever want to intrude or disrupt a therapeutic process. And we went through that process here with the folks that are working with them now, and they've agreed to that, of course, or we wouldn't be here, and they wouldn't be here. And I would like to go back and meet Trevor and talk with him, with y'all's permission as parents, to do that. I might choose to play back some of his behavior that you shot, which he hasn't seen, and see what his reaction to that is. I'll talk with Trevor when we come back.
I'm embarrassed to say this. We slept with one of the kitchen knives in our bedroom because I was worried he would come in and he would hurt us, or he would hurt his brothers in the middle of the night. It's been awful.
Dr. Phil.
Hi, nice to meet you.
How you doing, buddy?
Good.
All right. I'm glad to meet you.
Yeah, I met you too.
How do you get along with your mother most of the time?
Okay.
She says, not true. We don't get along okay. We have a lot of conflict. There's a lot of yelling and screaming and clash that goes on.
Yeah.
So which is true?
Her side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why would you say that you get along well then?
Well, because sometimes we fight, and sometimes we have good days.
Yeah.
So.
Do you get angry?
Yes.
Do you rage?
Yes.
When you rage and yell and scream, when it's over with, how do you feel?
Upset and scared.
Scared? In what way?
Scared that I might hurt someone.
Your mother took some video camera footage of you when you were upset recently. You recall that?
No.
You don't remember that? It's a home video that she made, and I would like to show it to you.
Okay.
Okay? You can watch it right here.
Okay.
Get out of my face now. He didn't touch you, so you need to stop now. No, it didn't. He didn't touch you. You need to stop. That's enough. No! I didn't do anything to you, so you have no reason to do this. Well, that's not a reason to take it out on me. No, he didn't. Stop. Stop it now. Your brothers are here. Calm down. The police are coming to get you. You need to stop. I said stop. Stop it now. Now. Stop.
Okay. What's your reaction to that?
Upset.
How so? Talk to me about it.
Just sad I did that to her.
Is that surprising to see?
No.
So you know that you're that way?
Sometimes.
Yeah. You know what it's like from the inside out. You just had the opportunity to see it from somebody else's point of view. When you're doing that, could you stop if you wanted to?
Yeah.
Why do you not stop?
I really don't know why. Just because I'm really angry about something.
Uh-huh. Do you think she was scared?
Yes.
Was that the desired effect? Were you wanting to scare her?
No.
What did you want her reaction to be? How did you want her to feel when you're doing that?
I don't know.
Have you ever thought about that?
No.
That's what we call empathy.
Yeah.
That's where you say, okay, I need to consider the feelings of the people around me and see how this is affecting them. Think about it now. You've just said, yes, I think she was scared and upset. How does that make you feel? Sad, mad, glad, angry? What do you mean? What would your life be like if there were no more yelling, screaming, rages? How do you think that would change things?
Really, really good. Be happy, have a nice life together as a family.
You've got some wonderful people working with you now and helping you, and Dr. McNeese and Kiki. We're going to chat some and see if there are some things that we can do to help. I just want you to be happy. I want you laughing and having fun.
Okay.
And so that's what we want to work on. Well, I'm going to go back out and chat with your folks for just a bit. Thanks a lot, man. All right, talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Trevor lies about things that aren't even important, just like what he had for breakfast.
Trevor started stealing all kinds of things from us. It ranged from electronics to money. He also stole his mom's underwear.
I found my bras and underwear in Trevor's room. There were several pairs, maybe around 10.
There was no limit to what he would steal.
Okay, Trevor's mom, Lavina, has taken him to be evaluated 13 times in the past 17 years, and no one has yet been able to give you a comprehensive explanation of why he does what he does, right?
Right.
You just watched my conversation with him. Give me your reaction to that.
I feel like sometimes he says what people want to hear, like sure, I could calm down, yeah, I can do that, but I don't know, it just seems like he can't seem to make that connection when he is angry. He can say that, you know, in retrospect, yeah, I could have calmed down, but I don't really think he understands it.
So you think he was minimalizing and trivializing it, saying, I could handle this?
I think so. Things are never as serious to him as they usually are.
Right. When I ask him if he has ever thought about how you feel, seeing it from that point of view, how'd you feel about his response?
It was nice to know that he realizes that I'm scared, because when I try to talk to him, even later at a calm time, he doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't remember what happened.
This is Dr. Frank Lawless right here. Dr. Frank Lawless is a clinical psychologist. He is actually a double diplomate in psychology. He is the president and chairman of the Dr. Phil Advisory Board, so he marshals all of those resources and talks to the folks around the country about these different things, and he's been studying this along with others. Is there a possibility, in your view, that could there be some neurological issues, brain inflammation, or some type of metabolic issues?
Well, I do believe that there are some neurological issues that are going on. For example, we see a lot of kids this age that are subjected or exposed to heavy metals like mercury and lead that demonstrate this kind of speech pattern. Also, rage, which is very common with people with brain inflammation. And I think that his history, especially dating back to his infancy, would also imply that there is some kind of activity going on that short circuits his brain from being able to calm himself.
He doesn't have an edit button or a pause button that he can go to, but you say that you worry that he could be the next school shooter, or there could be something going on like that. I do think you could potentially be in danger. I will also tell you that, just to be completely frank, I think you two are in over your head. I think that this has gone beyond normal parenting. I do. I think that despite your best efforts, despite the fact that you have a loving and supportive stepfather who has a very loving relationship with his stepson, I think this just goes beyond your parenting resources. I frankly don't think this young man can be handled in the home. And toward that end, I asked our very good friend, Kristen Hayes, to come here today. She is from Turnabout Ranch. I think Turnabout Ranch is a terrific program. This is Kristen Hayes right here, by the way. She's here and would sit and talk with you all here when we finish. But understand that this is our gift to your family. This is not something that that we would send him there for a period of time and with Turnabout Ranch and the Dr. Phil Show. This is our gift to your family, so it doesn't break the bank. So what do you think, Mom, Dad?
We're just really grateful and appreciative. This is about me making him stay home. I want him to get better. I want him to have a good life, and I support him going there.
We just want him to be successful, and we'll do whatever.
If there's a problem with him agreeing to this, you know, we use transporters, and that's, I mean, we will get him there.
We have to do this for him. We have to do everything.
All right, this will give us a chance to do this, and Dr. Lawless directs the P&P Center in Dallas, and I'm going to have him talk with Dr. McNeese and see if there's some evaluations that they can add to this mix, and we're going to see if, with all of us, we can come up with something that works out here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Next, a mother who says her daughter has stolen her car and had at least 7 sexual partners. She fears she's going to end up pregnant or worse. Their story when we come back.
She's sneaking out of the house, smoking pot, failing classes, skipping school. Nicole stole my car in the middle of the night. She's been having sex with multiple boys. One of my biggest fears is that my daughter's going to be pregnant.
I know my mom's concerned about guys, but I'm not stupid.
Nicole is totally out of control, and I'm at my wit's end.
Karen says her 15-year-old daughter, Nicole, is completely out of control. She's had numerous sexual partners since the age of 13, has done some drugs, constantly sneaks out. Now, Mom fears for her future, and she fears for her life. Take a look.
I'm a mother of 6 children. I'm having the most difficulty with my daughter, Nicole. Nicole is 15. She's sneaking out of the house, smoking pot, failing classes, skipping school, having sex with multiple boys. My daughter does not have a lot of girlfriends. Most of the friends that she has are all boys. One of my biggest fears is that my daughter's going to be pregnant. Nicole is totally out of control, and I'm at my wit's end.
My mom and I started to have issues about 2 years ago when I snuck out of the house. I had snuck out a lot of times, but that was the first time my mom had caught me.
I took her cell phone away. I took the computer away. She wasn't allowed to go out. Several months later, I get the news Nicole had let a boy sneak into her bedroom at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they had sex. I was absolutely furious.
I know my mom's concerned about guys, but I'm not stupid. I'm not going to put myself in a situation that I don't feel comfortable in.
Nicole stole my car in the middle of the night, and I had to press charges.
I didn't steal her car. I borrowed it at midnight, and I returned it at 6:30 in the morning.
The night before Nicole's 15th birthday, I got up at 6:30 in the morning to leave for work. The first thing I thought was, someone's been in my car. There's no way that my daughter could have driven my car. She doesn't have her license. She doesn't have her permit.
I had a couple guys over. We didn't tell her we were borrowing her car, but we took it. We drove all around town. I knew when I got home that my mom would be mad. I didn't figure she would escalate it the way that she did.
I had no other choice but to go down to the sheriff's department.
You could have dropped the charges and just grounded me.
The end result was to press charges for unauthorized use of vehicle.
I just don't understand why Mom would even want to see her daughter in court and want to be the one putting her there.
It totally upsets me as a mom, and I just don't know what else to do.
Okay, now you were watching that, right? You are a bright, intelligent young woman. You cannot believe that that is smart behavior.
It isn't.
Why are you doing it? You knew when you took her car that that was really wrong.
When we took the car, I wanted to go back in and tell her, but I don't want to be like the one to stop they wanted to have fun. They wanted to go out. I don't want to be the one to
stop the stealing of your own family's car. You didn't think of it that way, though, did you? You thought of it, I don't want to be the wet blanket here. I don't want to be the geek, the one that says, let's not have fun. Did you have fun that night? Did you worry at all?
I did.
What'd you worry?
I kept saying that I should take the car back.
What time did she leave?
Around 11:30.
11:30. And you said that was okay.
No, I told her I didn't want her going, but she had already gotten permission from her father.
She's leaving at 11:30 at night. and going off in a car with someone you don't know. Seriously? I wouldn't care if Christ himself had given her permission. Under no theory, under no circumstance is it responsible parenting to let your daughter leave the house with two boys at 14 years of age at 11:30 at night. Daddy said, okay, you can call the cops on me, you can do whatever the hell you want, but you ain't leaving this house at 11:30 at night with two boys. And then they walk out and get in your car and go, which you didn't know. This isn't about the car. Nicole says the problems started when she was 13, when her mom packed the car and left her and her siblings standing in the driveway. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Since my mom left my dad, there's been a lot more responsibility on my shoulders. I've become more of a parent figure, I would say, for my brothers and sisters.
Now that her father and I are separated, I've done the best that I can do. I feel guilty.
Your behavior took a real turn a couple of years ago, right?
Right.
But let me tell you what your daughter said. And this is a quote. She said, my mom just left. We came home from school and she was in the driveway with all of her stuff in the car. She said, you just left. She said she didn't cry, she didn't, just have a reaction because you have a little sister. She's asking you what's going on, right? Did you know what to tell her?
I didn't really know. I knew what was going on, but I didn't know, how are you supposed to explain that to a 6-year-old?
That's my point. Did you know what to tell? Do you know what to say to a child that age? Did you say anything to her?
I didn't say anything to the kids at that point.
Nicole says, again, I quote, she says, I came back outside, little sister crying, and mom leaving. I'm not asking you if that's what happened. I'm telling you what her perception is of how this whole thing went down. This is not a Nicole problem. This is a family problem. Your behavior is unacceptable and you need to stop it because it's stupid. And it's hard to take back stupid. Okay? You won't know that now. You won't know that now, but you wind up getting pregnant or getting an STD or getting busted with drugs or flunking out of school or whatever, and then you can have an exciting career in the fast food business. It's stupid what you're doing. You are so smart. You have so much going for you that this behavior that has no compass on it absolutely needs to stop. You are upset about things that have happened in your life. I get that, and you are entitled to that. It is astounding to me how we have kids, and then we go out in life and make decisions where we drag them backwards through a knothole and then wonder why they're upset. Do you want to be at war with her?
Absolutely not.
And you're what I call these rear-view parenters. What you do is you consecrate everything you see in your rearview mirror. She steals a car, well, I'll hold her accountable for that. She goes out, sneaks out, I'll hold her accountable for that. You're reacting after it happens instead of negotiating a plan as two intelligent women, mother and daughter, a plan that both of you can live with. She's lost her way. Let's make a plan. And you need help to do that. And what I want to do, not for the whole family at this point, just for the two of you, I want to arrange for the two of you to sit down with a professional that is going to help you see the world through her eyes so you understand why she's making some bad choices. And for you see the world through her eyes to help you understand why this isn't easy for her either. And for the two of you to come up with a plan that you can be really excited about and committed to. And you have enough integrity. If you agree to do something, you'll do it, right?
Yeah.
And you'll participate in this, true?
I will.
She's motivated. She wants this to be better, which is wonderful.
Absolutely.
Have you apologized to her for this behavior, what you put her through?
I'm sorry.
I mean, have you really? And have you apologized to her for what you put her through?
I haven't.
Great place to start in session number 1. Seriously. You know, there are perks to aging. You become wiser, happier, balder, but there may also be downfalls, like dementia or other brain disorders. Now, in these instances, driving can become dangerous and deadly. You'll see what I mean if you look at this video.
A New York State trooper is being credited with saving several people who were caught in the path of a wrong-way driver.
Joseph Dorsley was caught on cell phone video barreling north in the southbound lanes about 3 p.m. The 86-year-old Spring Valley grandfather was lost in his own hometown, the onset of dementia taking an unexpected toll on his memory just blocks from his house.
He dropped my mom off to church, and he couldn't find his way back home. So he has been driving since 6 o'clock in the morning.
That's 9 hours before Trooper John DeVoe spotted him on the thruway heading north into Orange County in the southbound lane.
I knew what I had to do. I had to shut down the lanes and hopefully somehow get him to slow down or stop.
Joseph Dorsley stopped when he saw the trooper out of his car. He was treated at a hospital and will not be driving again.
He's done. We're not gonna let him drive anymore.
Well, I want to talk about this dementia, so I invited my good friend, Dr. Frida Lewis Hall, Chief Medical Officer of Pfizer, to join in the conversation. So I wanted you to help me out with a question that we got from a viewer, and she's here to ask us about help for her mother. So tell me your question.
Well, my mother is 86 years old, lives alone. I'm 1,000 miles away from her, and she does have dementia. She is still driving. She does fairly well, but she gets to the point now where sometimes she forgets where she's going, and she has to turn around and come back. She does not want to give up driving in any way, shape, or form. And my question to you is, how do I keep the relationship between her and I going when I have to say to her, Mom, it's time to go into assisted living. Mom, it's time to give up driving.
Dr. Frida, help us understand dementia so you get a grasp of exactly, and everybody else out there, exactly what we're talking about.
Dementia is a group of symptoms. It can be characterized by declines in memory, in thinking skills, in language, and in behavior. And these declines are so severe that they begin to negatively affect or interfere with everyday activities, and that includes driving. And dementia can be related to a number of illnesses. Alzheimer's is very common, as are strokes, as a cause of dementia.
So how do you know, but this is what Terry's dealing with now, how do you know when it's time to take the keys away from a parent, where they want to give them up or not? How do you know when it's time to take the keys away from a parent?
So, first of all, I want to remind everybody that we are not talking about age and driving. This is really around the effect of dementia on driving. And there are a few driving behaviors that are not uncommon in people who have dementia that we should keep a lookout for that kind of give us these hints. The first is failing to obey traffic signs and signals. The second is making poor or slow decisions on the road or in traffic. Speed is an important reminder. So driving at an inappropriate speed, and that can be too fast, as we just saw, or it can be too slow. We also notice that people become angry, disoriented, confused, agitated when they drive sometimes. And then last but not least, and Terry mentioned this, getting lost in familiar places.
Terry, have you tried to talk to your mother about, I mean, have you said anything to her about it?
Oh, yes. We've been very forthright, yes. And unfortunately, she tells me she knows when it's time. She'll know when it's time to give up driving and to give up her home. That may very well possibly be true, but she's also keeping things from me now. And I'm finding out through neighbors and friends, such as she did have an accident. It was not her fault, but she didn't tell me. I found out 6 months later, and the car was totaled.
Right. So what do you suggest she say to her mother? Give us some of the, it's not an easy way to do it, but some of the best way to do it.
Yeah, there's no easy way, but for people who are in Terry's situation, we often suggest a few things. First of all, you should have these conversations as early as possible. I know it feels easier to wait, but early is better. Also, independence is key. So offering alternatives that maintain activity and independence are important. And also appealing to their sense of responsibility for the safety of others may sometimes be the thing that'll tip the scale in this. And we often tell people, remember, this is probably not one conversation. This is a series of very difficult and challenging conversations with lots of resistance and pushback. So you may want to call in reinforcements.
Right.
And who are they? Family members can help out with this, or trusted advisors in the community, the physician, clergy, the family attorney, or really close family friends.
Right. And as a last resort, you may need to just consider taking away the car keys, disabling the car, or removing the car completely, right? I mean, you got to do what you have to do.
So these are such hard decisions and such hard conversations, but what we're really talking about here is safety. So there are resources to help. And in fact, on gethealthystayhealthy.com, we have some tips that help families have these very difficult conversations. And of course, more information on dementia, because sometimes that helps frame it as well.
Yeah, and we went through some things quickly, but those things are all on gethealthystayhealthy.com, so the checklist will be there. I want to thank all of my guests today, especially Dr. Frida Lewis Hall. For more information on today's show, you can visit drphil.com and check out gethealthystayhealthy.com. It is a great place to be. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.